Okay, well, I'm here because when I met Stacey at the Breakfast Club, we had a lot of conversations about finances. And I really didn't grow up with a lot of money. I didn't grow up with my parents educating me about investing, about real estate, about anything. So I was talking to Stacey about things that I started doing because, truthfully, I only recently started making money. I've always been like in debt since I was in college. You know, I had the student loans, I had all those credit cards that they get you to sign up for when you can't afford to pay for it. So when I graduated from school, I was working these jobs, not making a lot of money. But I've been educating myself a lot. The first thing I did when I got a job that actually paid a decent salary was pay off all of my credit card bills. And then I said, I need to buy a house. And so I did buy a house in Bed-Stuy in Brooklyn, which was a lot for me because it was really me educating myself on how to get a mortgage, how to get pre-approved, how to not to have to pay a PMI, but it was all things that I didn't know anything about that I really had to educate myself on. So now I always tell people, because I go on the radio, I talk about it, people hit me up, and I try to give other people advice because I know it's not an easy thing to do. Right. It's really overwhelming. People will tell you, oh, get a house when you get married. Why don't you wait until you settle down? But you should do those things for yourself. Why wouldn't you? It's a great investment. And so that was one thing I did. And then I bought 3 houses in Detroit. I was telling Stacey about that's the investment that I was telling her about because
I'm
Detroit.
Always like, why am I on your show as a financial expert every time I talk to her?
So I did that, and then I also invested in the juice bar in Brooklyn. I actually went to Styles P from the Locks, and I brought DJ Emmy with me, and I said, listen, I love the juice bar that you guys have. He already had 3 of them. And I said, I really want to do one in Brooklyn, in my neighborhood, because it was really hard for me to find some place that was healthy to go to. And I wanted to not just be healthy, but to be someplace cool for the people in the neighborhood. So I invested all this money, made it beautiful. The guys are like, why are you doing all this? But if you come there, Stacey can tell you, it looks like a brownstone living room. We have a backyard, we have great music, and everyone from the community comes in there, and people make it actually a trip. They'll be like, hey, I drove down here from Virginia just to come to the juice bar. They have these tours that go around the city, and they stop at the juice bar now, so it's really great for everybody. The kids love it. Like, it means a lot to me when kids come up to me and they're like, wow, you know, you just made me realize I can own my own business. Or when people say, you know what, I lost 80 pounds since your juice bar opened. I've been coming here every day, so that really means a lot to me. And so Stacey and I have been talking, and I told her we wanted to do this financial series just to help people out, because there were so many things that I didn't know, and I know a lot of people are in that position where they don't have anybody to teach them those things. You think to yourself, I'm never gonna get out of debt. I'm never gonna be able to buy a house. You know how much a brownstone in Brooklyn costs? You know, but it's a process.
Well, how much?
Well, I'll tell you this. They sold a house 2 doors down from me for $1.8 million.
Wow.
Okay, and it's not that big. But, and that's like a good price in Brooklyn right now in Bed-Stuy. It's ridiculous, but my house is worth a lot more now, so thanks to that. But it was just me wanting to make sure that other people could learn those things that I had to actually teach myself. And I've been fortunate enough to have people like Stacey just help me out and give me advice. And I've been reading a lot about it, so I just want people to know that it is possible to go from being like, you know, $60,000 in debt to having 3 houses in Detroit, a house in Brooklyn, a juice bar, and I'm about to open a restaurant too.